You're tuned into Balanced Life. Your Balanced Life podcast with Dr. Chris Biles, a space for people who want more energy, better recovery, calmer days, and long-term health without the hype or confusion. Here, we talk about nutrition, fitness, stress, habits, hormones, and everyday wellness in a way that feels practical, supportive, and real-life focused. Because supplements aren't the goal, your lifestyle, your strength, and your well-being are. This is about intentional health and a life lived in balance. Welcome to a balanced life. Welcome to a balanced life.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a Balanced Life podcast. I am your host, Dr. Chris Biles, in effect, in the place to be every 1 p.m. Friday, Central Standard Time. That's where we go into. That's where we're at. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're all doing well, guys. You see, I got a new different setup here. Trying to test it out, so hopefully it works well for today's podcast. But hey, we're here. We're here in effect, guys, and we are getting into it. So today we are going to be talking about gut health. All right, it's very important that we cover this topic, and I believe that I think we've trying to build a base. I'm trying to build a foundation here today, or with this podcast, and we'll get into different stuff. And if there's anything that you might want me to talk about to cover on this platform, please do so. Comment on the post or the podcast once you're done, and I'll look into it, and we can see about getting that covered. Okay, so hope you're doing well. Again, welcome back. All right, so we're gonna have a little pop quiz today. All right, so let's just say, because last week we had a good discussion about supplements. Right, we talked about supplements. We talked about a lot of different things. Excuse me. Sorry about that. We talked about a lot of different things regarding supplements and their importance. Also, how it's very important to focus on nutrition first, and then you go ahead and you do make sure that if you to fill any gaps, you go ahead and you get the supplementation. Okay, but what if you dropped all this money on all supplementation? You went to Balanced Life Supplements, you went to wherever, you went to Target, wherever you get your supplements from. But you did all this, you spent all this money on a stack of vitamins. You're swallowing pills like a competitive eater, like a pro bodybuilder, and yet you still have the energy of a sloth. What do you do, right? Not just any type of sloth, but a sloth on a rainy Monday walking through mud backwards. Okay. What do you do? All right. Because it's biology, right? Biology is one of the biggest things that plays a part into not just the food you take in, but what you keep, right? What you actually manage to keep. That is the importance of, let me move my chair. I don't like this angle. Okay. I'm gonna have to move this, this setup another time, but it's all about what you're able to keep with your nutrition, okay? Even the supplements that you take in, right? It's about what you keep. And today we want to talk about your gut health and what's going on in your gut and why you're not able to have the energy that you need, right? Even if you're sleeping multiple hours, the proper amount of sleep throughout the night, you're not undersleeping, you are properly getting enough sleep every single night. Food is on point. It could be your gut, right? And we're going to talk about a little bit of that, okay? And so before we get into it, this information is for educational purposes only. By no means does it constitute any type of medical advice whatsoever. If you need help from your medical professional, please go see them right away. Don't forget about the naturopathic doctors. Got to show them some love. But I would, again, this is about educational purposes only. I'm just giving you some information. Maybe it applies or maybe it doesn't. If it does, if you need to go around this realm and look at your gut health, go see somebody. And I honestly would recommend a naturopathic doctor first and foremost, because that is going to be what they test for a lot of that type of things, right? We know medical doctors, the natural medicine, or the current medical system, they look at a lot of pharmaceutical drugs, right? And sometimes that doesn't really get to see the root of the problem. Naturopathic medicine, they'll go do a little test to test your gut. A lot of times they'll check your gut out to see maybe, hey, you might be allergic to certain foods you didn't know about, right? Could be your gut health, your gut biome, whatever, right? So just remember, we're here to look at these things and look at like biological literacy more than anything, okay? So we're going to talk about why your gut is currently acting like a grumpy bouncer and who won't let you let your expensive supplements, right, get past the velvet rope. And that's what we're going to talk about. All right. So we're going to look at absorption. What is absorption? What does it mean? Okay. We have to look at your internal plumbing. Okay. If you shrunk down and stood inside your small intestine, it wouldn't look like a smooth PVC pipe. Okay. It would look like a thick, plush shag carpet. Sounds nasty, but that's what it would look like. And though those tiny little hairs if you can imagine a shag carpet, those tiny little hairs was called villi. Okay, look like little hairs. Okay, and I'm gonna pop it on screen, so give you a little description of what they may look like. Okay, right there. All right. Now, the villi, their entire job is to grab nutrients passing by and pull them into your bloodstream. Okay, so as their little hairs are going through, the nutrients are coming through, it's supposed to grab them, pull them to your bloodstream, boom, you're good to go. But here's the problem. If your diet is a mess, that carpet gets flattened, right? You ever been on shag carpet and it's flattened, or a carpet that's completely flat? Think about that. So then what happens, your bioavailability, which is just a fancy way of saying your net profit. Okay, for those in finance, you might understand it. Your net profit of nutrients, it plummets. Okay, that's what happens. Your net profit of nutrients plummets. So you're essentially taking a $100 supplement, but your gut taxes are 90%. It's pretty messed up, right? So then you're left with $10 of health and a very expensive trip to the bathroom. Right? Because that's coming right out. You're not using it. It's going right to the bathroom. All right. So you're basically subsidizing the city's water minerals with your paycheck. Right. In this day and age, in this economy, with everything that's going on in the world right now as we speak, I'm in Texas. Gas has gotten up a little bit higher. It's like $3 more. A couple of weeks ago, it was $2 and some change. I love that. But for me, I actually own a 4-cylinder car, so all praises to the Most High. My gas prices haven't really taken a hit too much because my tank is the way it is. But those people that drive those big old trucks, those gas guzzlers, they're probably taking a hit. And if you're in California, I heard it's getting kind of crazy out there as well. I'm sorry. I lived in California for some time. I don't know how you guys are still out there doing that, but that's a different story for another time. Okay, so like I said, you're basically subsidizing the city's water minerals with your paycheck. And it's all about the availability, the bioavailability in your gut. Okay. It's a crazy little picture that we just painted. Okay. So we have to figure out the purpose of this now we want to figure out what's going on. How can we fix that? All right. So now let's talk about your vagus nerve. Okay. So have you ever heard of the vagus nerve? This is like a massive two-way fiber optic cable running from your brain stem to your colon. Okay. It's literally the superhighway of the gut-brain axis. It's literally the superhighway of the gut-brain axis. Okay. So if your gut is sending emergency text messages up that highway because of inflammation, your brain can't focus. Okay. We know that roughly 95% of your serotonin that's your happy juice, right? Makes you happy. 95% of your serotonin is manufactured in your gut basement. Okay. So if the basement is flooded because the plumbing is backed up, the upstairs neighbors in your brain are going to be miserable, right? You're not going to be happy. No more serotonin, no more happy juice. All right. So we have to think about this when we're eating our food, when we're taking stuff in. We're not just digesting that meal, we're manufacturing our mood, right? There's a lot of people out there angry nowadays. There's a lot of upset people out here nowadays. And why? Maybe because they're eating garbage food. Or on top of that, not only are they probably eating garbage food, but maybe their gut is jacked up. Okay. So your gut biome is very, very important. All right. Happy gut, happy nut. I don't know. That's feel like rhyming a little bit, but you know what I'm saying. All right. Your gut is going to be very, very important to this. All right. So what I would recommend, and we're going to, I'm going to be kind of quick today, but what I recommend is that we take the time and energy we need to really look at what's going on inside of our gut. And again, I highly recommend going to see a naturopathic doctor. Okay. Okay. So before we get into that, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to, like I said, I'm going to be kind of quick today. I want to just give you guys a little bit of information, something to think about. And it's kind of late right now from, I don't record it. This is not live, but I'm getting a little tired. So, but we're going to take a little break. Little word from our sponsors, those lovely people over at Balanced Life Supplements. And we're going to get back into it. Okay. All right. With that being said, we'll be back on the other side of this break.
Stop scrolling at 2 a.m. I used to lie awake replaying every conversation, every mistake, every worry. Then I discovered Mood Balance Plus. This natural supplement does not just mask stress, it supports a balanced stress response. Within weeks, my mind felt quieter, my mood more stable. No more 3 a.m. anxiety spirals or emotional roller coasters. If you are tired of stress controlling your life, try Mood Balance Plus and feel the difference.
All right, welcome back to Balanced Life Podcast. Your boy, your host, Dr. Chris Biles, back in effect, in the place to be, new setup. And I'm kind of getting used to this. I'm used to having my camera over here. I don't know how I feel about this right now, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to see how it flows, right? Okay. So, we're going to get into some more information about this whole thing called gut health, right? All right. So, we love Balanced Life Supplements here, right? That's our go-to. I love their products. They have some good probiotics. They have some good things that's for your gut. They have some good some greens. They have a lot of good things. We've covered those things before, right? You've seen some of the ads that they have, right? And they have a lot of good stuff for those things, right? But I have to be clear, and I've said this before, and I have to be clear. Supplements are meant to be a supplement, not a foundation. Okay, so I love the fact that more people are taking supplements, right? Such as protein for muscle growth, right? Those type of things. But if you're not getting it from your food, and you're only focusing on, I'm going to get the supplement in and that's it, we're lacking some stuff, right? We have to go ahead and make sure that we're going into what our foundation really is, and that's a good diet. Okay, you cannot out supplement a beige diet. Okay, right? We're talking about gut health, so take it for what it is. You can't out supplement that. Okay, think about your microbiome as an internal garden. So if you only feed it white bread and sugar, right? many of the main staples of the American diet: white bread, sugar, and a lot of foods, right? You're eating, a lot of our foods are pizzas and cookies and donuts in the morning for our breakfast, and hamburgers, right? Well, what's the main thing that you're getting in there, right? You're getting white bread usually because they're making it with the flour, white flour. And just to be, just to give you something a little extra in there, white bread should not be white anyway, honestly, right? When you go look at your bread, the Hostess, the Wonder Bread, as we used to grow up with, look at the ingredients. It says enriched flour. Well, enriched flour means that they done stripped it down. They done removed all the necessary nutrients from it, and it added synthetic nutrients back. Wheat, anyway, when you look at it, it's brown anyway when it comes from the ground. From the ground, is brown. And then when it's all ultra processed, highly processed and everything, and giving you all these synthetic vitamins in there, now it's white. And that type of diet, because we're eating it so often with our hamburgers, our pizzas, this, that, and the third, it's messing our stomach up. Okay. That's why, again, I live in Texas. So that's why you saw the brothers and the sisters angrily fighting each other during the rodeo, and it made them shut the rodeo down. Okay. It's just all the processed foods, honestly. You cannot get around it. As much as I want to, not say it, it's just what it is. Our diet is causing so many mental problems and so many anger problems. Like I just said, if you're what is it called? Your serotonin levels are all messed up because of your food. Then, of course, what do you expect? You're going to be angry. You're going to be upset. And then, oh, man, on top of that, the traffic we got going out there, the situation, people are just mad anyway. I don't know. I choose not to be angry about anything, honestly. That's just me. Many people don't think the way I think, but I choose not to be upset about anything, right? If there's a situation that makes me upset, I remove myself from the situation. I don't want to be mad because life is too short anyway to be mad. And again, I'm doing that. I've been doing that a lot lately, jumping on my soapbox. So I'm gonna limit that to say today. But I'm just saying, right? So with that being said, again, think of your microbiome like an eternal garden. Okay, if you only feed it the white sugars, the white sugars, the ultra processed foods, the donuts, the breads, right? The old food pyramid that we grew up upon, where it was heavily based on grains, right? If you're constantly eating that, you're only growing weeds, right? Again, your microbiome is like an eternal garden. So if you're only eating crap, right? So think about it like this. If anybody gardens out there, you have to go through and you have to feed put the nutrients in the ground. You have to feed it. You have to water it. You have to weed it. You have to remove things from it that's going to stop it from growing. Again, if we're not removing those things from our diet, what we're putting in our mouth, if we're not eating these proper things, right? If we're not going to professionals and checking our gut health and those type of things, we're only going to grow weeds, right? And it's going to cause problems. Maybe back up, whatever. It might have to go to the bathroom, that maybe with some symptoms, but it's just the way it is. We have to change the way we're eating. Okay. Like I said, to grow a prize-winning garden, you have to have phytonutrients, right? These are called plant power-ups. You have to put the nice nutrients in there. Like they're even showing you how to make your own. I've seen brothers on TikTok or social media showing you how to make your own natural organic fertilizer from certain plants. I forget what the plant I saw it was, but I mean, goodness gracious. The phytonutrients are important in a healthy environment, healthy garden, right? And again, it has to be the same thing with our microbiome. The healthy garden is going to be what's going to help you out. Okay. So the natural chemicals that give plants their bright colors, the vibrant oranges, the reds from the peppers, and the greens from the broccolis and the spinach and the kales and the green leafy vegetables, right? We want a diverse, basically Olympic roster, for lack of a better term, right? We want to have that diverse as much as possible. Now, many people you might ask, like, whoa, what about these things I'm hearing about eating, the keto diet or eating a carnivore diet, right? And honestly, I'm all for all that stuff, right? But however, I'm more of a person of balance, right? I'm more of the one, I believe in balance. That means I want the whole encompassing thing, right? As much whole grains, right? If you are going to eat grains, make them whole grains, but that's not your main staple of your meals. High protein, right? So I would love for you to get your protein from a good meat source, a clean meat source. If you can get it from a farmer's market or farm, I would love for you to do that. That's just my personal opinion, right? Again, this is not medical advice. I'm just telling you what I like to do, what I do. But I think our meals should be high in protein. If you ever get a chance, for those of you who are old school fitness enthusiasts, go Jack LaLanne. I don't know if you remember him, and I'm gonna find a clip in one of his next episodes, and I'm gonna play a clip. Right, I saw some stuff that I was like, wow, this type of conversation he had way back then, it should have never changed. It's the same conversation he's been trying to teach people. Your plate should be well balanced in so many different things. The green leafy vegetables, nice fruits and vegetables, right? The building blocks, right? And then high protein. Protein is great for building muscle, rejuvenating, right? Is recovering. Oh my gosh. And then if you have to have, some, because we do need some carbs for energy. I've talked about this before. Some whole grains. The whole grains is not overly processed. You're going to get all those, the energy from those whole grains, right? And then, right, if you got a snack sparingly. So there's a thing out there, right? And again, I'm all about balance. It's something called the 80-20 rule. So you're going to spend, instead of like being strict on your diet, you're going to spend 80% of the time really honing into your diet, right? Because what's the point of going out and losing weight if you're going to not have fun with it? And for me, you can have fun, but make sure you're doing the basics as much as possible. Okay, this is not a nutrition conversation. It's just it comes up because of what we're talking about. So, 80-20 rule: 80% of your life, 80% of your nutrition is healthy, whole food, nutritious, nutrient-dense foods. Protein, high protein, right? And for me personally, I would say protein should be the driver and then everything else. But balance, okay? And then 20% of the time, if you have a donut or if you have some cake or cookies or something, so what? Do that, right? It keeps you engaged. But again, you don't want to have too much of these things because the stomach, we're talking about the gut biome, you got to be careful about certain things that we put in our bodies, okay? And if it's ultra processed, and I believe also there's people that's going to disagree with me. I've seen people online talk about this, and that's their point. Nothing I can do about it. I'm not bashing anybody, right? I'm just telling you my personal take on it with the experience that I have. And I believe we want to try and stay away from stuff that's foreign, that's man-made as much as possible, right? The Creator put things on the earth for you to eat. He didn't put things on the earth for us to eat that causes us sickness. Unfortunately, when you look at certain chemicals or certain things, ingredients in our food, especially if you're not able to pronounce it, I challenge you, go look it up and then go see and then ask what the side effects are. Now, the people are like, oh, you can do a little bit of this and the third. Why would you chance it? Why would you chance it? That's just me. Why would you chance it? But again, I'm trying to stay off my soapbox as much as possible. But why would you chance it? All right. So if we're talking about the like Olympic roster, you want your nutrition, your greens, your plant power, basically to be as vibrant and so much color and much as possible. You throw all that stuff in. There's so many different choices out there: bok choy, Swiss chard, spinach, kale, whatever the case may be. Right? You don't have to go juice it and drink it. You eat real food. Oh my goodness, just eat the food. Okay. All right. This is why we aim for, think about it, 30 plants a week. You got to think about the fiber. The recommended dosage for fiber in a human, right, per day is 30 grams of fiber a day. And I know there's stuff out there you can take, but I mean, if we're consistently eating these things, we don't have to take a lot of that stuff. But again, like I say, those things are just a supplement, not to be your foundation. Okay, so get your 30 plants a week, right? You could take certain seeds. Not all seeds are bad. Certain seeds, herbs are a good way to do that. Weird looking purple carrots, right? There's so many different colorful carrots out there. Whatever, right? Whatever, wherever you're at in the world, wherever, just get those things in there. So, and I would say, if it grew in the dirt and hasn't been through a factory, eat it. If you can grow your own vegetables and everything, by all means, because at least you know where it came from. And if you're going to buy your fruits and vegetables from the store, please, please, please try to wash them off as much as possible. Because remember, they do, especially conventional. And I know they say organic. I've seen organic's like so ran down, bastardized. Like I've seen organic water. I've seen gluten-free water. So, I mean, I don't know. But if you can grow it yourself, or if you're going to go to the grocery store and buy something that's grown, and then shipped to the grocery store, just do your due diligence to wash off as much as the pesticides and all that stuff as much as possible. But you want to eat as much whole grain, whole foods, vegetables, and fruits that came from the ground as much as possible. That should be your base. Okay. And a lot of plants, a lot of fruits have a little bit amount of protein in it. It's not going to be enough to get you to, like, say 100 grams, 120 grams of protein a day. That's where meat, if you're vegan, I'm sorry, you just have to eat a lot to get. I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying it's not impossible. But you're still missing some key nutrients. Just go ahead and try and get as much of it. Get as much as possible. It's going to be very beneficial for you. Okay. But above all that, the one thing that we want to make sure that we are staying focused on is balance. Balance is the key, right? Balance is the key with your nutrition. Balance is key as you get older in life, right? Be able to stand up or be able, walk around without falling over. Balance is about synergy. Okay. You need healthy fats like avocado. Another healthy fat, I just learned about this week. I thought it was fascinating. Extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is the best. Extra virgin olive oil is one of the best forms of natural healthy fats that you can get. It's good for your brain health and your gut health as well. Okay. And just a quick note that I just found this week. I had the opportunity this week of sitting in on a seminar. And it was like a taste testing of olive oil and, balsamic vinaigrette. And if you didn't know, those two combinations are great on salad without all the extra sugar. Actually, balsamic and vinaigrette will actually help lower blood sugar after a meal, if you didn't know that. But we just can't get any type of extra virgin olive oil or balsamic and a vinaigrette. So I'll tell you real quick. Even on avocado oil, this is a side note, but I'm glad I mentioned this. If you're going to have the oils to cook in, your extra virgin olive oil is by far the best, most unrefined oil that's on the market. Okay, then it goes extra virgin, then virgin, and then after everything else after that is just subpar. Okay, so a couple things to look for. If it's just great, I just learned this week. If you go and you look at the store and you look for extra virgin olive oil, you have to look for the crush date or the pick date. And there's only 2 times a year, depending on what area of the world you live in. There's only 2 times in the world, 2 times in a year that the olives are picked for this oil. Okay. No, if you're in this, you live in the northern hemisphere. I can't remember how that worked, but if you live in one part of the world, it's November only, right? The fall, November. Okay. And then if you're in the other part of the world, it's the spring. That's it. There's not any other times. There's only 2 times of the year that olives are picked to create oil. So there has to be a pick date or crush date on your bottled oil. If your bottled oil does not have that, especially if it says it is organic or extra virgin olive oil, try to stay away from it. Anything else is old oil or rancid. And the other thing to know, and I'm sharing, I got this information, so I'm sharing it with you. The other thing to know is that even just like real food, even after pick date, if the pick date's November, 14 months, you have to use it up. After that, it's done. It's gone bad, and you must get rid of it. Okay? I did not know that. Great information. And if it's not just extra virgin olive oil, you can find the same thing for avocado oil. Even though avocado's good, coconut oil, those healthier fats that are actually really good. That's not the seed oils, right? That's another topic for another time. You want to get them as that freshest point. Okay, that's the oils, and it makes sense because real oil comes from a food source. Olive oil comes from olives, right? You don't have food in your cabinets. You don't have strawberries lasting for 6-7 months. So why is our oils or anything else any different? And then on the flip side of that, balsamic vinaigrette, just like wine, it can stay for long periods of time, and the older it is, the better it is. Just like nothing ages like a fine wine, right? Right. So it makes sense. And here's another point: if you are looking at balsamic vinaigrette, grapes should be the only ingredient, nothing else. Okay. So I just gave you a whole bunch of game today, and I hope you appreciate it. I'll just be $5.99 for each piece of information I gave y'all today. All right. So you need the healthy fats. All right. So certain healthy fats actually help you unlock certain vitamins like vitamin D. Right. If you take a pill but skip the healthy fats, the pill just keeps on moving. Okay. Ideally, with vitamin D, if we can go out and get some sun, you're going to get some vitamin D. But if not, please get some good, healthy fat. And hey, I believe extra virgin olive oil is also a healthy fat. A vitamin has vitamin D. I could be mistaken about that, but I think I'm right. So again, if you don't have some fat and you take vitamin D is all the thing. Or if you don't have it with vitamin D combined with vitamin K, is a great combination. It's all about absorption. But however, if you don't have those things in there, it's just going to keep on moving and not get to where you get to or stick, right? Or become a part of you. So a balanced plate provides the tools your biology needs to actually do the work. Bottom line, I said all that to say this: balanced plate. Balance is the key, not perfection. We talked about that before. Not perfection, but balance is the key, right? For your biology to actually do the work. Okay. All right. I hope that made some sense, guys. I hope that you took everything that I said. Just one thing, something I said. You took it and you're able to apply it. because that's all about, right? And again, if you need any help whatsoever, go find, please. I really advocate for naturopathic doctors as much as possible, but go seek a medical professional as soon as possible. Maybe something to do with your gut biome. Have them do some tests and let them help you out to really clear that up, because our gut is going to be where our happy mood from. If you're always angry, if you're walking around like if you're walking around like that on a daily basis, then it could be from your gut. It could be all the McDonald's and the Burger King and the P. Terry's and Five Guys and all that stuff that you constantly eat on a daily basis, or you're constantly eating out every day, because I'm sure you don't know what they're cooking with inside the kitchen. You don't know what type of oil they're using. And speaking of oil, let me just put something for your mind, because one of the main oils that just something to make you think. You do you do something with it as you will. But the main oils, right, that's out there. I want you to do your research in both of those oils as much as possible. Really do your research, where they come from, how they originated. And don't just listen, because medical and the FDA has, which stands for farts, ducks, and acrobatics. Anyway. Oh, that's silly. Okay. No, so beyond what we have been told and taught since the early 80s, maybe a lot of those oils that are cheap, right? You have to ask yourself one of this. Vegetable oil, for one thing. Do you know any vegetables that make oil? I've never seen a carrot make oil. I've seen avocados create oil, and I've seen olives create oil, and even grapes. Like grape seed oil. I guess sunflowers make oil. I mean, no, I don't think so. I know peanuts make oil, right? There's peanut oil. I know those make oil. They might not be the best for you, because the peanuts come from it's actually a legume. It's not a nut. But there are certain things that actually create oil. You can demonstrate it yourself. Take one of them big almost made me curse. Take one of those big avocados and put it on the stove and heat it up. And then after some time, oil will separate from it. But you have to ask yourself these things. And where does canola come from? But I'm not here to get into that. I'm just here to provide you with a means to think about things. Okay. So again, I'm here to this is a catchphrase of the last 20 years, but I'm here to empower you, right? I'm here to empower you, right? Empower your mind, right? But please actually consult an actual medical doctor, naturopathic, before changing your regimen, right? So go to your produce aisles and buy one vegetable that looks like an alien, something you've never cooked before. Yeah. That's what you do. That's your homework. Go to the store, find something that you never cooked before. You got YouTube videos for everything. I learned how to change my brakes from YouTube, man. You better quit playing. But anyway, go do that and then check it out, okay? Your gut bugs are hungry for variety. They're hungry for variety, and they're tired of plain white toast, hamburgers with the bun, right? Nothing wrong with the meat. I just told you nothing wrong with the meat, right? But your stomach gets tired of those things, okay? So remember, if you don't remember anything else from the day, don't just supplement a lifestyle, educate your biology, all right? Eat your fiber, stay hydrated, and for the love of science, stop looking for health in a detox tea promoted by an influencer. Okay? With that being said, I am Dr. Chris Biles here at A Balanced Life Podcast, hoping you enjoyed your time with me today. And we are going to get a little deeper. We're going to get into another topic next week where we're going to get a little deeper into building this bridge of health and wellness. If there's anything out there that you want to talk about, if you feel free, please send me some comments, send me some suggestions, and we will talk about it. But until next time, with all that being said, stay balanced, stay healthy, stay groovy, baby. All right, till next time.
Thanks for listening to A Balanced Life with your host, Dr. Chris Biles.
Take care of your body, your mind, and your spirit.
Keep moving forward. See you next time.